Hey, I'm Guy.
I'm John.
It's our YouTube channel. We're glad you're here. Subscribe to it and give this video a like.
Also, we have this little thing called a podcast down below in the description. Subscribe to that as well. Share it with your friends.
2 first-round receivers, Haskell the Rascal, the defensive lineman, plus the starting offensive lineman for Ohio State have opted out of the Rose Bowl. Garrett Wilson's going to be a first-round receiver. Chris Olave is going to probably be a first-round receiver too.
Did those guys declare for the draft, or they just opted out for next year for Ohio State?
No, they're going. I don't know if there's officially declared for the draft, but they're going to the draft.
Okay.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is a sophomore who turned out, by the way, was the leading receiver at Ohio State because those other guys got a lot of attention. He was in the slot, led the team in receptions and yards. But those other guys combined for 2,000 yards.
They're good.
They're really good players, and they opted out. And so there's been a lot of discussion about like, oh, you know, we love the Rose Bowl. Can NIL save the bowls because players are opting out of bowls, as they have been for a few years? This is the first time really we've been able to add NIL to the discussion. And my answer to that question is no. NIL cannot save the bowl games. A playoff can save some of the bowl games, and all you need to save is some of the bowl games, because I checked the numbers, John. 34% of the viewership in 2019 among non-college football playoff games came from 3 bowls, the 3 biggest non-playoff games that year.
Rose Bowl, Fiesta, Cotton.
I think it was Rose, Sugar, Peach. Maybe the Fiesta was 4th, some variation of those. But those were the games that got the double-digit million views. Okay.
Yeah, I guess the Sugar would be an SEC opponent versus a Big Ten opponent.
It just depends if it's in the playoff or not. But that's going to be one of your biggest games every year, right?
Yeah.
And my take on it is, the 32nd pick of the NFL draft this year is going to get probably over $12 million. The 33rd pick is going to get probably over 2. So there's about a $10 million difference in one draft position in the NFL.
God, the owners are sneaky there. How does that, I thought it drops off like a cliff like that?
Off a cliff. Okay.
We ain't guaranteeing shit, guys.
And so if you're a first round potential pick, we're like, oh, NIL, we'll let you do it. We'll set up an autograph signing for you at the Rose Bowl. Like,
is that something people were talking about? Autograph signings?
No, it's just the people are trying to find ways, whatever it would be. Are you going to set up some autograph signings? You help them get sponsorships. And my point is, whatever your idea is, you have to make up a large amount of money here. Okay, Daughtry? You have to make up a large amount of money to get my like $12 million. So what are you going to do? You're going to pay for my insurance premium? Whatever that is, maybe $20K plus another how much on top of that? Because this is what I'm putting in jeopardy. Jalen Smith went from a top 10 pick to a second rounder when he got hurt in a bowl game.
And I'm pretty sure that was like the Sugar, the Fiesta, or one of the big ones, right?
Was it a playoff game?
No, it was Notre Dame, Ohio State. I think they both missed the playoffs, but it was easily the best non-bowl game, the best non-playoff. It was a big game with a ton of NFL players. Ruined his career. I mean, I guess he ended up getting a second contract, but it was kind of out of guilt for Jerry. It felt like more than like true play. Then they ended up cutting him.
Yeah,
but it is not worth. I told you this a while back, and I didn't think, I'm not sure you quite realize, like, these Ohio State guys were not going to play in the Rose Bowl. The receivers, I didn't know, like, I didn't have the breakdown of position by position, but I just knew the receivers were viewed as top 15 picks. And they had all played in the national championship last year. So it'd be one thing. It's like, the COVID season, they didn't get a bowl game. They just want one last time with their boys. They won. They beat Clemson last year. Like, they've seen the mountaintop in college football. Now it's time to get paid. The moment they lost to Michigan and got bounced, like, because you agree they wouldn't have opted out if they were in the playoffs.
Right.
But, like, playing Utah in a Rose Bowl game to them just doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm not surprised at all that they've opted out of this game.
I thought you thought they were going to play a couple weeks ago.
Maybe I did. I mean, I might have thought they were going to play, but I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised by it. I go, okay, I get it.
That's why we threw them in the parlay.
So, I don't know what you do other than you expand the playoff. Now, it's been suggested, Cam Worrell suggested to me, well, you give players a cut of the bowl. Like, you give them some of the money from the game. You say 20% of whatever the percentages of the money is going to go to the game.
You ever done a business deal? That's not the way it works.
Well, it's the players. I don't think is the Rose Bowl freaking out. How much less money is the Rose Bowl going to make? The bowls are not that interested, but I think the health of college football needs them to find a way to get more of the best players to stay for the postseason. And to me, the simplest way to do that is by expanding the playoff. If Chris Olave doesn't want to play in the Rose Bowl, $20,000 isn't going to get him to play in the Rose Bowl.
Love Utah in this game.
Yeah, by the second, more and more and more.
Yeah.
I think they're still a 5.5-point underdog.
CJ Stroud's still one of the better players in the and I would imagine the backup wide receivers are probably going to be decent.
That's why we've already put them in our parlay.
Can you, if you have a redshirt freshman, it used to be when I worked at Fresno State, it was like past the 5th week. Now it's just based on a game on the given season. Couldn't you just play a redshirt freshman in that game and still not burn his redshirt year?
Depends how many games he's played. You can play 4
games. Yeah, I'm just saying, hypothetically, he had redshirted the whole season because the wide receivers, he hasn't played at all. Wouldn't I just be allowed to start him in this game? Get him some free reps?
Absolutely. It's free reps. You get 4 games of free reps if you haven't redshirted before.
Now, they haven't played in games, but I would imagine Ohio State has some reinforcements. That would be the nervous part about betting on this game. Like, they could have, oh, my God, there's Guy Haberman, this redshirt freshman, 7 stars from Florida, and he goes for 3 touchdowns against Utah. Like, that's possible.
I think the name you're looking for is Marvin Harrison Jr.
They have Marvin Harrison's kid as their backup wide receiver?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good genes.